Okay. Hi students, good afternoon all of you and welcome to the session. I hope I am clearly audible and visible to all of you. And also, as I told you in the last session itself, that अब हम रिविजन स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं, मतलब हमारा सिलेबस कंप्लीट हो गया है जो सीबीएसई के अकॉर्डिंग इस साल सिलेबस में था वो हमने सब कुछ कर लिया है. ओके, नाउ वी हैव टू डू द रिविजन एंटायरली. ऑल्सो हम और भी चीजें कर सकते हैं, जैसे मान लो आपको किसी पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक में डाउट है, जैसे कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ केमिकल रिएक्शंस या फिर मेटलर्जी का पूरे टॉपिक पे एक सेशन चाहिए, तो वो बीच बीच में आपको रिविजन सेशंस भी मिलेंगे. हाई 2.0 क्रिएशन. ओके, एंड फर्स्ट थिंग इन द रिविजन इज टू कवर द प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चंस. ये बेसिकली सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट है तुम्हारे एग्जाम के लिए. मतलब होता क्या है कि सीबीएसई के क्वेश्चन पेपर में अगर आप नोटिस करोगे तो बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस सेम लैंग्वेज एज इट इज पेपर में आई हुई होती है. तो बेटर है कि आप सीधा उनको एग्जाम्स में ही देखो. उससे पहले आप एक ट्रेलर मिल जाना चाहिए आप लोगों को कि एग्जाम में क्वेश्चंस आ कैसे रहे हैं और हर चैप्टर में से किस तरीके के आ रहे हैं. तो आज हम एक डेमो क्वेश्चन पेपर देखेंगे पहले, जिसमें मैं आपको ये दिखाऊंगी कि इस चैप्टर से क्या क्या क्वेश्चंस थे, किन किन टॉपिक्स पर फोकस किया गया, क्या क्या उन क्वेश्चंस को वेटेज दी गई और कैसे उनको आंसर करना है. ये सारी चीजें हम आज पहले इस फर्स्ट चैप्टर के रिगार्डिंग डिस्कस करेंगे. देखेंगे हम पूरा क्वेश्चन पेपर, सारे क्वेश्चंस केमिस्ट्री के नोटिस करेंगे कि क्या क्या आए हैं, बट विल मेजरली फोकस ऑन केमिकल रिएक्शंस एंड इक्वेशंस. वो क्वेश्चन पेपर करने के बाद वी विल डू मोर क्वेश्चंस जो पहले आए हैं इस चैप्टर से. ओके, अब डिफरेंस ये है कि जैसे जो हमारे आज से 4 साल पहले या 5 साल पहले जो क्वेश्चंस आते थे थोड़े थ्योरेटिकल ज्यादा होते थे, है ना. अब उनमें क्या था कि आप लंबे लंबे आंसर्स लिख रहे हो, डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन है, इजी क्वेश्चन है, कोई एक पर्टिकुलर इक्वेशन ही पूछ लिया डायरेक्टली. अब वो चेंज हो गया है. नाउ मोस्ट ऑफ द क्वेश्चंस आर केस स्टडी क्वेश्चंस, एप्लीकेशन बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस. तो वो उस तरीके के क्वेश्चंस हमें देखना जरूरी है. बट हाँ, इतने सारे एग्जाम्स अभी हुए नहीं है, आफ्टर कोविड हुई है ये चीज. गुड इवनिंग वंडर वर्ल्ड. ओके, तो जितने हमारे पास अवेलेबल हैं हम वो जरूर कवर कर लेंगे. राइट, सो आज एक क्वेश्चन पेपर देखेंगे. ऑल्सो इफ यू गाइज डोंट नो मी, आई एम सुष्मिता शर्मा, योर केमिस्ट्री टीचर एट इन्फिनिटी लर्न. यस बेटा, जल्दी बस 1 मिनट में स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं. तो अगर आप श्री चैतन्य या इन्फिनिटी लर्न को नहीं जानते तो मैं आपको छोटा सा इंट्रोडक्शन देना चाहूंगी. आई होप ऑल ऑफ यू गाइज नो अबाउट दीज 2 एग्जाम्स, जेई एंड नीट. राइट, मतलब अगर आपको आगे जाके इंजीनियरिंग करनी है या मेडिकल साइंसेज में जाना है, अच्छे कॉलेज से करना है, तो ये एंट्रेंसेस आपको फेस करने पड़ते हैं, है ना. जेई फॉर इंजीनियरिंग, नीट फॉर मेडिकल साइंसेज. अब इनकी तैयारी अगर आप 11th में जाके शुरू करते हो, 12th में जाके शुरू करते हो, बहुत इंटेंसिव हो जाती है. तो हम यहाँ पे आपको हेल्प करते हैं बेसिकली इस साल की AIR-1 इन जेई मेंस, जेई एडवांस्ड एंड नीट, तीनों की AIR-1 हमारे पास ही है. ओके, हाय अनमोल, वेरी गुड बेटा, वेरी गुड. सो अनमोल हियर कैन ऑल्सो टेल यू कि हमारा जो एक स्केड्यूल चलता है वो एक फिक्स्ड स्केड्यूल होता है. आपको सारे नोट्स प्रोवाइड किए जाते हैं, आपको हर क्लास के बाद असाइनमेंट मिलता है और आपको ऑल्टरनेट वीक्स पर टेस्ट मिलते हैं. जैसे मान लो कोई 2 वीक का जो इंटरवल है उसमें जो भी कवर हुआ उस पर बेस्ड आपको एक टेस्ट मिल जाएगा वीकेंड पर. ओके, सो दैट इज व्हाट वी डू. और आपको पूरे कोर्स का एक स्केड्यूल मिलता है, बहुत ही डिसिप्लिन्ड होता है सारा कुछ, कोई सेशन कैंसिलेशंस नहीं होते. तो ये सब चीजें हैं. अगर आपको करनी है तैयारी, यस IELTS, अगर आपको तैयारी करनी है हमारे साथ जुड़कर, तो इन्फिनिटी लर्न आप लोग ज्वाइन कर सकते हो. वी आर दी एडटेक बाय श्री चैतन्य एंड वी आर लाइक, हमारे सारे बच्चे बहुत अच्छा परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं. AIR-1 तो है ही हमारे पास, टॉप 100 में भी बहुत सारे बच्चे हैं तीनों एग्जाम्स में. तो जर्नी शुरू करनी हो तो आप फाउंडेशन से भी कर सकते हो. फाउंडेशन इज फॉर 8th, 9th एंड 10th. बट इनकेस आप लोग अगर ऑलरेडी 10th में हो तो जेई नीट के कोर्सेज आपके लिए बेटर रहेंगे, बिकॉज अब तो फाउंडेशन से तो आप लोग निकल ही गए, है ना. तो इनकेस आप कोई भी पैकेज लेना का आपका प्लान बनता है, यू कैन यूज माई कोड सुष्मिता 20, जिससे कि आपको फ्लैट 20% डिस्काउंट मिल जाता है. ऑलराइट, ओके, 2.0 क्रिएशन, वेरी नाइस. नाउ नेक्स्ट थिंग, अब पहले क्वेश्चन पेपर देखना है हमें सबसे पहले. तो वो खोलते हैं. Yeah, so this is basically the actual question paper, but हाँ इस पे सैम्पल पेपर लिखा है बिकॉज ऑफिशियल फाइल नहीं है ये. तो अब देखो, पहली बात तो इस पैटर्न को नोटिस करो. इसमें 39 क्वेश्चंस हैं, 5 सेक्शंस में, सारे क्वेश्चंस कंपलसरी हैं. अब इसको थोड़ा मैं और जूम इन कर देती हूँ ताकि आप लोगों को थोड़ा और कंफर्टेबल लगे इसको पढ़ना, बिकॉज ये थोड़ा छोटा टेक्स्ट लग रहा है मुझे. now I guess it should be clear to all of you. Yeah, अब दिख रहा है सबको? ये क्वेश्चन पेपर है, एक्चुअल पूरा पैटर्न वही है. तो सेक्शन ए में जैसे आपके 20 ऑब्जेक्टिव क्वेश्चंस थे, अब ये हो गया कि ऑब्जेक्टिव क्वेश्चंस पे काफी ध्यान दिया जा रहा है. ठीक है, इस साल के पेपर में भी ये चीज आपको दिखाई देगी. देन सेक्शन बी में आपको 6 वेरी शॉर्ट आंसर क्वेश्चन जो कि 2 मार्क्स के होंगे. फिर आपके सेक्शन सी में 7 सवाल होंगे जो 3 मार्क्स के होंगे. सेक्शन डी में 3 लॉन्ग आंसर क्वेश्चंस एंड सेक्शन ई में 3 केस बेस्ड या सोर्स बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस. ये तुम्हारा सीबीएसई के बोर्ड एग्जाम का पैटर्न है साइंस का. टोटल मार्क्स आर 80. हाय अद्वैत, आई गेस यू आर ऑल्सो स्टूडेंट. Why am I seeing names of my own students today? Yeah, fine. So this was the pattern. Now we are going to look at the questions and we are particularly going to mark the questions from chemical reactions and equations. That is our motive. Okay, I'll show you the questions and simultaneously you can answer also. So now this is the first question, as you can see, and tell me which chapter do you think this is from? The change in color of the moist litmus paper. If it is litmus paper, it is from the second chapter. Now see, it is not a very simple question, right? The question is the change in color of moist litmus paper in the given setup is due to the moist litmus paper changed its color. It happened why? Hi Soumya. Why do you think it happened? Presence of acid, presence of base, presence of H plus ions in the aqueous solution, presence of litmus which acts as indicator. Which statements are correct? Hi Tarun. See, first of all, let's go to the questions that are from chapter 1. Then we can look at the questions in detail. This is from chapter 2, so let's find the questions from chapter 1 first. So this is from chapter 1. There is a redox reaction in front of you, MnO2 plus 4HCl. MnO2 plus 4HCl giving you MnCl2, water and Cl2. So you've been asked about oxidation and reduction in this reaction. So MnO2 is reduced to MnCl2 and HCl is oxidized to H2O. Is this the correct option? MnO2 is reduced to MnCl2 and HCl is oxidized to Cl2. Then you have MnO2 is oxidized to MnCl2 and HCl is reduced to Cl2. And next, last option is MnO2. I'll write the equation for you in the middle so that you can, now you can look at all the options. MnO2 is oxidized to MnCl2 and HCl is reduced to H2O. So before going to the, Tarun, which language do you think I'm talking in? Let's write the equation once for ourselves. And this is a question from chapter 1, that is redox reactions. MnO2 plus HCl giving you MnCl2, H2O and Cl2. So see, MnO2 is getting converted to MnCl2. So here you see removal of oxygen, hence it is reduction. So MnO2 is not getting oxidized at all. It is getting reduced, right? So now the options that say MnO2 is getting oxidized are wrong. So options C and D are wrong now. Now you only have 2 options. Okay. Now HCl is forming Cl2 and H2O as well. In both the processes, HCl is getting oxidized, right? But I don't know Tamil. Okay. So there I can't help you. So HCl is getting converted to H2 and it is getting oxidized. So see, MnCl2, MnO2 is getting reduced to MnCl2. Now look at these 2 options, right? Which do you think is better to explain? We talk in terms of hydrogen and oxygen, right? So for HCl, to understand the oxidation of HCl, we have to choose option B, that HCl is forming Cl2. Ultimately, removal of hydrogen is taking place. That is why we are seeing that HCl is getting oxidized to Cl2. So option B is your correct option here. Okay. Option B becomes your correct option. And this is a 1-mark question. So see, in a 1-mark question, you had to calculate so much, right? In a 1-mark question, you had to entirely write the equation, check for oxidation reduction, everything. So, just a second. Ui. हिंदी में पढ़ाओ. अब कोई तमिल में पढ़ना चाहता है, कोई इंग्लिश में पढ़ना चाहता है, कोई हिंदी में पढ़ना चाहता है, तो इंग्लिश पे कॉम्प्रोमाइज कर लेते हैं, ठीक है. आई विल आल्सो स्पीक इन हिंदी एंड इन इंग्लिश. दैट इज द ओनली सॉल्यूशन आई सी. Okay. Hi Tarun. So yeah, actually Wonder World's answer was correct. Wonder World is already a student. Yeah, I don't remember your name. Just a second. Okay, it's on draw. Yeah, so now moving on to the next question. This we have covered. Now see, again the next question is from your chapter 1. And this is a very easy question. We have seen this question multiple times. Okay. So notice that 2 multiple choice questions we have already seen now, including this one. Yes. Okay. Yes, Soumya. Yeah. Now I remember. So, which of the following is correct observation of the reaction shown here? So, this is burning of magnesium ribbon, right? So, read the options. Brown powder of magnesium oxide is formed. Brown powder of magnesium oxide is formed. Colorless gas which turns lime water milky is evolved. Colorless gas which turns lime water milky, that is CO2 getting evolved. Magnesium ribbon burns with a brilliant white light. Reddish brown gas with the smell of burning sulfur has evolved, which is actually sulfur dioxide. So tell me, which do you think is the correct option? Yes, Jumbo Science, you were correct. Why did you hide your answer? Your answer was correct actually. Yeah, we can zoom it even more, which will be more helpful for you guys. I guess now it's better. Yeah. Tell me, do you understand? Option C is correct. Brown powder, no. Magnesium oxide is a white colored powder, right? It's a white colored powder, so first statement is wrong. No gas is evolved. Magnesium ribbon is reacting with oxygen gas to form magnesium oxide, producing energy in the form of heat and light. Okay? That light you see is a brilliant white colored flame. So option C is your correct answer. No CO2, no SO2. All right? Very nice. Easy question. So question C, they're not very difficult. They're just diagram based and everything. Now this is actually your acidic oxide is only for one thing. Rest I guess we can. Yeah, this question is a combination of a few concepts, of a few chapters actually. So with reference to 4 gases, you have been given 4 gases: CO2, CO, Cl2 and O2. Which one of the options in the table is correct? Which option is correct here? So out of these 4, the option A is saying that CO is the acidic oxide. For treatment of water, we use chlorine gas. For after respiration, we release oxygen gas. Product of incomplete combustion is carbon monoxide. This is your first option. The second option is acidic oxide is CO2. For treatment of water, we use chlorine gas. Product of respiration is carbon dioxide. And result of incomplete combustion is carbon monoxide. Okay, so music has already given us the correct answer. Very good. Then CO2, O2, O2, CO2. The correct option we have already seen. Yes, Soumya is correct. Advaith is also correct. Option B is your correct answer. Basically, acidic oxide is carbon dioxide. Okay. For treatment of water, we use chlorine gas. Yes. Then respiration. Respiration happens in our body. We don't release oxygen gas. We release carbon dioxide gas only. So CO2 is released, and due to partial combustion, carbon monoxide gas is released. Another easy question. So here, see, respiration is from chapter 1, right? Then incomplete combustion is from chapter 4, that is carbon compounds. Treatment of water and acidic oxide are from chapter 2, that is acids, bases and salts. So this question is actually a combination of 3 chapters together. Yeah. So this also can be seen. We can't actually place this under one chapter. Now this is from chapter 1 itself properly. Okay, that we are covering PYQs for today. Let's read the question. On placing a copper coin in a test tube containing green ferrous sulfate solution, what do you think should happen? Copper coin has been placed in green ferrous sulfate solution. The solution turns blue and a grey substance is deposited on the copper coin. Turns colorless and a grey substance is deposited on the copper ion. It turns colorless and a reddish brown substance is deposited on the copper ion. The solution remains green with no change in the copper coin. Tell me, what should be the correct answer? Simple reactivity series based question. Option D, Advait has given us the correct answer. Option D, beta. Copper has been put in ferrous sulfate solution. Copper is less reactive. Copper is less reactive than iron, there will be no reaction, no? There can't be any reaction with these two reactants because copper is less reactive. So option D is your correct answer. If it had been reverse, if iron had been put in copper sulfate solution, the reaction would have occurred. But this reaction will not take place. So in the first section, we have already seen 3 questions relevant to our chapter 1. He has written A. Okay, it's okay. It's not option A, it's option D. Now, dilute acetyl pH paper is from chapter 2. Then, this is from chapter 4. That is your carbon and its compounds. So, not covering that right now because we are here for chapter 1 today. Next, then here comes your biology. We will not do that also. Then we are going to section B. So, after 20 that will come. Let's see how many questions we've come to. 22, yeah. Now we will look at chapter 1 questions in section B. So, let's see what this is about. Alright, so the first part is from chapter 2, that is based on slaked lime and then excess of water, then solution slowly. No. Both are from chapter 1 only. Let's see how you answer it. First part. A clear solution of slaked lime, that is calcium hydroxide, is made by dissolving calcium hydroxide in excess of water. This solution is left exposed to air. The solution slowly goes milky as a faint white precipitate forms. Explain why this faint white precipitate is forming. Support your response with the help of a chemical equation. Tell me what is that white precipitate. That is all that you need to tell me first. Tell me, beta. See, calcium hydroxide reacts with the aerial carbon dioxide, right? Forming calcium carbonate and water. Now this calcium carbonate that is formed is the faint white precipitate. Yes, Soumya. Basically, your calcium hydroxide is reacting with the aerial carbon dioxide to produce calcium carbonate and water. So calcium carbonate is the PPT that is being formed. And it's a 2-mark question, so you just have to write the theory of it and write the chemical equation with states and proper balancing. Always remember, whenever you write chemical equations in the examination, you should always mention the states along with proper balancing. Okay? This is your first part. Now see, in this question you have a choice. All questions are compulsory. Whatever questions there are, they're compulsory. But in questions you have choices. If this part you did not know, you can attempt the second part. But when you're solving your practice questions, try to solve all of them. Don't leave any one. Next. Kirti added dilute HCl to 4 metals and recorded her observations. Okay. So basically, what Kirti is doing is she has taken 4 metals and she has put these metals into HCl. So copper plus HCl, iron plus HCl, magnesium plus HCl, zinc plus HCl. Now, you know the reactivity series, yes? Do you think that this reaction should take place? The first reaction, the reaction of copper with HCl, should it take place? No, copper will not react with dilute acids because copper is less reactive than hydrogen. So there will be no reaction in this case. Hence, there will be no gas evolved. But she has written yes, that the gas has evolved. So this is a wrong observation. Yes, the gas will not evolve in the case of copper. In case of iron, the gas will evolve because iron is more reactive. So yes, reaction will occur, and she has recorded it correctly also. She has written yes. So this is correct. Then magnesium is very much reactive than hydrogen. So this reaction will also take place and the gas will be evolved. But she has written no, that no reaction takes place, no gas evolved. This is again a wrong observation. And the last case, zinc also will react with the acid to produce a gas, that is hydrogen gas. So this observation is correct. So out of 4, 2 of the observations are correct. Do you understand the question? Beta, we are solving one of them right now, Rohit. Look at the screen once, okay? Just a second. Is this question understandable to you? Do you understand what has been told? Basically, your metals are there, your acid is there. A child has recorded observations. Now let's take the question based on it. This was just the table. Now let's see what has been asked from us. Select the correct observations from the given chemical equation. Correct observations are iron and zinc. Wrong are copper and magnesium. Okay, wrong are copper and magnesium. Iron and zinc ke liye she has recorded the correct observations. So this was your question. This is a 2-mark question. So this is how, this is the kind of questions now that are being asked today. So then biology is here, right? Yes. Then physics is there. Now we'll move on to the section C. Again, the next. Identify, very simple question. Identify the type of reaction mentioned above in 1 and 2. Give one example each in the type, each type in the form of chemical equation. Okay? So you have to identify the type of reaction first. Then after the type of the reaction, you have to write one example also. So in first case, A is reacting with BC and AC is being formed, B is being displaced. So this is the displacement reaction. Yes? This is from chapter 1 only, that's why we're covering this. Yes. The second one is 2 ionic compounds reacting and exchanging their ions. Hi, Mr. Abhi. So this is double displacement. Now you have plenty of examples to write. Now look at the weightage. This is a section in which your questions are of 3 marks each. So you will write properly. For the first part, you will write that the type of reaction is a displacement reaction. Then you will write one line that one of the examples of displacement reaction is iron reacting with copper sulfate solution. Then you will write iron solid plus copper sulfate aqueous giving you ferrous sulfate and copper. Right? Write the states. Balanced, that equation is very simple, so you don't need to balance that even. And then you write the equation also. Copper and iron sulfate, iron and copper sulfate reaction. Copper will not react with iron sulfate, no? Copper is less reactive than iron. Okay? Then for the second type of the reaction, that is double displacement, what do? Very easy, lead nitrate, potassium iodide, right? Or you can say barium chloride, sodium sulfate. any of the examples you can use, but now this is a theoretical question, so you have to write the details also. Okay, not just a line, write the equations properly, balanced chemical equations, and it has been asked in the question itself that you have to write the balanced chemical equation. So if you don't write the balanced chemical equation, marks will be deducted. That is their way of telling us that write a balanced chemical equation. Next. This is actually your chloralkali process from chapter 2, so we're not covering it right now. Aluminium foil, now biology is again here. So chemistry questions in section C are also done, and both the questions were from chemical, the first question was from chemical reactions and equations only. So notice that in section C, the 3-mark question was given to your chapter 1 only. Then your carbon compounds properties, see. The properties, chemical properties of carbon compounds is here now in section C, which is now in your syllabus also. So we will cover this when we come to chapter 4. Yeah, so basically, this was the major chemistry that we had. Now we will have one question in section E. So this is based on rusting. So rusting can be covered in chapter 1 and chapter 3 both. So we will do this question now. This is the last one in this question paper. Then we'll move on to the old PYQs apart from this question paper, okay? That we'll study from a PPT. So now, 2 students decided to investigate the effect of water and air on iron object under identical experimental conditions, okay? So we are trying to check the effect of water and air on iron object under identical experimental conditions. They measured the mass of each object before placing it partially immersed in 10 ml of water. Okay. After a few days, the objects were removed, dried, and their masses were measured. The tables show their results. You had a nail, you had a thin plate. Okay. Mass of object before rusting, before this process. Okay, all the best, Advait. Before rusting, the nail was 3 grams, the thin plate was 6 grams. After rusting, the masses became 3.15 grams and 6.33 grams. Basically, the masses have increased. Okay, this is the data given to you. Now, let's read the question based on it. What might be the reason of the observations of the 2 students? What is the reason? The reason is that the iron article reacted with the aerial moisture and oxygen gas to produce rust, that is Fe2O3.XH2O. So as in the chemical reaction, aerial components have participated, the resultant, the product will have a greater mass. Basically, after the reaction, the iron article will gain the moisture and oxygen gas from the air, so the mass will increase. Okay. Now, in another setup, the students coated iron nails with zinc metal. This is galvanization, which is from chapter 3 only. Okay. They coated the iron articles with zinc metal and noted that iron nails coated with zinc prevents rusting. That rusting did not take place here. So they also observed that zinc initially acts as a physical barrier, but an extra advantage of using zinc is that it continues to prevent rusting even if the layer of zinc is damaged. So name this process of rust prevention and give any 2 other methods to prevent rusting. So the question is actually the last line. Okay. So you've been asked the name of this process. The name is galvanization, and 2 other methods can be painting, right? Greasing, oiling. These can be other methods of preventing the rusting on iron metal, right? Okay. So these were the questions, I guess, from chemistry section and especially from chapter 1. Now you'll have physics and biology. This is also chemistry. Again based on rusting, I guess. Yes. Option B actually. That was option A. So in which of the following applications of iron, rusting will occur most? So you have 4 options. You have a water bucket. You have electricity cables having iron wires covered with aluminium foil. Then iron hinges on a gate, then painted iron fence. Which of these will undergo the maximum rusting? Tell me. Option A. Correct answer. See. How? In option A, your iron bucket is not covered with anything. It is in constant touch of water and oxygen gas. So this definitely will undergo a lot of rusting. Then electricity cables having iron wires covered with aluminium. So iron will not undergo that much of rusting here, right? Because aluminium layer is there in between. Okay, beta. All right, no video condition. So you can join my, okay, long name. Then iron hinges on a gate. Iron hinges on a gate, still there is no water as such. Aerial moisture will be there, but that is lesser in amount. Then painted iron fence. If it has been painted, then it will have very less contact with the aerial components. So option A, that is iron bucket. Oh, it is electroplated with zinc. This also can't be your correct answer. No, option C is correct. Option C is correct then. In option D, you have painted it, right? In option B, you have put aluminium. In option A, you have electroplated it with zinc. So only option C is the option where you have not used anything. Option C is the correct answer. I did not see electroplated actually. I only saw iron bucket. So option C, that is iron hinges, because here we have not used anything to prevent the rusting. So option C becomes your correct answer. Okay. So these were the questions from chapter 1. Now, next thing, I don't think there are any, no more questions. One from biology, one from physics. Yeah. So we are done with the question paper. Now we'll see some questions that have been seen earlier in question papers and are also important for our future exams now. Okay. Now, so let's see. Question number 1. A solution of a substance X is used for whitewashing. This comes a lot many times. Name the substance X and write its formula. Write the reaction of the substance X named in one with water. So now use your mind. Which is this substance? Is it calcium oxide or is it calcium hydroxide? So see, this hint is in your second question. Calcium hydroxide will not react with water, no. So calcium oxide is the substance that is used in whitewashing. So X becomes calcium oxide, right? And the reaction of calcium oxide with water is actually a very important reaction from exam point of view because it is an exothermic reaction. So this is the reaction of substance X with water. No, not calcium carbonate, beta. Calcium carbonate also will not react with water. It does not. Okay. Next, so this is your solution. This file will be given to you via Telegram. So if you're not a part of the Telegram channel already, join it with the help of the link present in the description. This file and the question paper, both of them will be given to you. Okay. Next, why is the amount of gas collected in one of the test tubes in electrolysis of water double the amount collected in the other, and name this gas? एक gas double होती है volume में दूसरी gas से. So it's an easy question basically. In this activity, water is electrolyzed to give hydrogen gas at one electrode and oxygen gas at another electrode. And to help you remember, when you break water, you get 2 H plus ions and 1 oxide anion, right? H plus ions are double in quantity, so hydrogen will be produced in double quantity. Okay. Also, cation always goes to the cathode. Anion always goes to the anode. This is how you can remember easily, so you don't get confused. So hydrogen gas will be released at cathode and oxygen gas will be released at anode. So the question might directly come that at which electrode is the amount of the gas observed double. So option hydrogen gas is the gas that is double in the volume and it is produced at cathode only. Okay. So thus 2 molecules of water on electrolysis give 2 molecules of hydrogen gas and 1 molecule of oxygen gas, or in other words, the amount of hydrogen gas collected would be double than that of oxygen gas. Okay? Yes. Moving on. Why does the color of copper sulfate solution change when an iron nail is dipped in it? Or an iron nail is dipped in the solution of copper sulfate for about 30 minutes. State the change in color observed. Give the for the change. This is technically, it can come as a 2 or 3 mark question both. So depending on the marking, you have to answer accordingly. All right. So iron metal has been dipped in copper sulfate solution, right? As you know, iron is more reactive than copper. It will displace copper from its aqueous solution. It will produce ferrous sulfate solution, and copper will be deposited on the iron nail because that's where the reaction is taking place. So earlier the solution was blue in color, but after the reaction, the solution will turn pale green. So yes, the color change observed is blue to pale green, and it is due to the higher reactivity of iron metal than the copper metal. Yes, Viraj. Actually, you don't have to write iron is highly reactive. You have to write iron is more reactive than copper. And for both the parts, the answer is the same. Okay, so when iron nail is dipped, this is the reaction taking place. This is how you have to write the proper answer. Okay. All right. Next, give an example of a double displacement reaction other than one given in NCERT textbook. So this is an NCERT question only, which has been seen in exams. I actually showed you a question paper in which the type of reaction was asked and you were asked to write an example of that reaction also, है ना? आपको दो टाइप्स दिए गए थे, एक डिस्प्लेसमेंट और एक डबल डिस्प्लेसमेंट, और आपसे दोनों का एक एक एग्जाम्पल पूछा गया था, तो ये जरूर याद कर लेना. और जो आपके बेटर एग्जाम्पल्स हैं डबल डिस्प्लेसमेंट के, वो पहला तो है लेड नाइट्रेट reacting with potassium iodide, both are aqueous actually, to produce lead iodide and potassium nitrate. So basically this lead iodide that is produced is a yellow solid which settles down at the bottom of the test tube. So this is your double displacement reaction. Okay, and it is a precipitation reaction also. This also is a double displacement reaction which comes under neutralization. All right. Next, identify the substances that are oxidized and the substances which are reduced in the following reactions. Substances oxidized and substances reduced. So starting with the first part, 4Na. This question will come as a 2-mark question only. Okay, not more than that. So half mark for each thing. Half mark for 1 mark for this question part, 1 mark for this part. Half for substance oxidized and substance reduced. 4Na plus O2 gas gives you 2Na2O. Now see, sodium is gaining an oxygen. So it is getting oxidized. And for oxygen, you will have to consider the electron gain thing. Basically, we also define oxidation and reduction in terms of electrons. So basically, always remember this. Gain of electrons is reduction, while loss of electrons is oxidation. So in case you look at oxygen, oxygen here was present, had 0 charge on it, है ना? It did not have any charge on it, but after the reaction, now it has -2 charge on it. So it has gained 2 electrons per atom. So this is reduction. Hence, substance oxidized is your Na and substance reduced is your O2. And always remember, substance oxidized is always the reducing agent and substance reduced is always the oxidizing agent. Always remember, this is a clue for you guys. एग्जाम में in case you get confused, इस तरीके से आप लोग अच्छे से बता सकते हो कि सब्सटेंस ऑक्सीडाइज जो होता है वो रिड्यूसिंग एजेंट होता है, सब्सटेंस रिड्यूस जो होता है वो ऑक्सीडाइजिंग एजेंट भी होता है. और ये सारे के सारे, ये चारों चीजें तुम्हारी दे आर ऑलवेज ऑन द रिएक्टेंट साइड ओनली. भाई कभी भी प्रोडक्ट साइड से अपना आंसर चूज नहीं करना. They're always present on the reactant side only. Nothing, no, your answer never should be from the product side. Okay. Now let us look at the second example to understand this more. Second question, copper oxide reacting with hydrogen gas to produce copper metal and water. So copper oxide is ultimately getting reduced to copper, removal of oxygen, so reduction. Then hydrogen is producing water, gain of oxygen, so oxidation. Easy. So write down substance oxidized is your hydrogen gas because it is getting oxidized. Substance reduced is your copper oxide. Now with the help of the trick, substance oxidized is your reducing agent and substance reduced is your oxidizing agent. Okay? Always remember this. This will help you a lot. Any doubts? I hope not. So the answers are given. Now another question based on this concept only. Which of the following statements about the reaction below are incorrect? Lead oxide reacting with carbon to produce lead and carbon dioxide gas. So look at this chemical reaction once. First of all, let's decide for ourselves what is happening exactly. So lead oxide is producing lead. Oxygen is removed, reduction. Carbon, say you are getting carbon dioxide. Oxygen is being added, oxidation. So according to us, substance oxidized is carbon, substance reduced is lead monoxide, because your answers will always be from the reactant side only, right? Jai Shri Ram Ayush. So now also substance oxidized is the reducing agent and substance reduced is the oxidizing agent. This is what we know from the chemical equation. Let us look at the options, okay? The first option is that the lead is getting reduced. Lead is in the product side. We can't talk about lead at all. First statement is wrong. Carbon dioxide is getting oxidized. Carbon dioxide is also on the product side. We cannot talk about this. Wrong option. Carbon is getting oxidized. Correct. Carbon is your substance oxidized, right? Lead oxide is getting reduced. Again correct, because lead oxide is your substance reduced, right? It is losing in oxygen. So option C and D are correct here, right? You have been asked the incorrect statements. The confusion I saw with many students in this question was that they actually selected the correct statements in the answer. So you have to select the wrong statement. So A and B are wrong for this chemical equation. So option 1 becomes your correct answer. Okay? All right. So these were the questions. Basically, we are not going to cover every theoretical question because that practice we have done already. We have done top 20 questions of this chapter. So what we'll do is in the next session, I am going to wrap this up here. We have seen a question paper. We have seen how different kinds of questions can be seen from this chapter, right? In which section, how much priority this chapter has been given. So we'll not do theoretical questions. That is boring and also not very purposeful for us. We have to study more and more case study questions which we saw today. So in the next session, we are going to cover acids, bases and salts similarly. So make sure you are not missing out on any of the sessions. Watch these sessions regularly. And if you want these files, all you have to do is join the Telegram channel and you will be sent these files automatically. Okay? And be present. We'll also be starting with quizzes now. We'll be doing Menti quizzes. So I want you guys to be present in those quizzes. You will have a lot of fun. All right. So thank you so much. Let's meet in the next session now. Till then, have a very happy new year. Have a very good day. And remember my code. My code is Sushmita20. In case you come to Infinity Learn for any package, Sushmita20 will help you get a 20% discount. Okay. कार्बन्स कंपाउंड्स भी जल्दी करेंगे बेटा, अभी चैप्टर 1 हुआ है, फिर 2 होगा, फिर 3 होगा, फिर 4 होगा, ऐसे करेंगे. Hi Chandra, welcome to the channel. All right, so thank you so much. Let's meet in the next session now. Bye bye all of you.